channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video, we're going to be looking at Josefina's craft book. So similar to, I think we've just covered Felicity's. So these are typical of several adults. I'm trying to think. Felicity, Josefina, Kirsten, Molly, Samantha, off the top of my head, and Addie. Those 6 dolls are all going to have these. I don't know about Kit and Julie at my point. Obviously, Caroline does not have one. Kaya does not have one. Cecile and Marie Grace do not have one either. So, but this was actually one of the last of these types of collections that was come out, which is the reason I'm having issues trying to get her cookbook. So I may get that in physical form. Otherwise, I will be reviewing it from digital form because you can find it on archives.org. I believe you can find this too. But again, I have this one used because, yeah, in the cookbook. Right now, I can't seem to find it at a decent price. This is February of 2016. Last I checked when it came to the cookbook, I found one somebody was trying to sell it for like $500. Which is a no, which is insane for so many reasons, but nonetheless, let's get to this. So this is Josefina's craft book, a look at crafts from the past with projects you can make today. So again, this is very similar to Felicity's, which I covered a couple months ago. You guys will be, it's February, you guys will be watching Felicity's now. But again, let's do back to this. So I like these because it does crafts and it does the history. The cookbooks are very much the same. So it talks about the crafts of the past. This is Josefina, who is in outside Santa Fe, New Mexico in 1824. So as I said when I talked about her short stories and her book collection, Mexico is now a country of its own. It is now recently separated from Spain. New Mexico is still part of Mexico. It won't be for another several years until the U.S. take over. And when it comes to Santa Fe, they just kind of come in and say, this is ours now. There's really no battles in the Mexican-American War in Santa Fe, which is the capital of New Mexico to this day. But it's kind of, and again, of course, it talks about different things that Josefina does, and it does mention that, and I still can't pronounce this because I'm not Spanish. I do not speak Spanish, but the J is pronounced as an H. So why I say Josefina, it would technically have been pronounced as Josefina, but nonetheless. The first chapter in this book is around the rancho. So you have an applique treasure box, a painted frame, a lantern, and a straw broom. So it talks, and you can see some of the pictures and stuff here about different things. So it does say her family lived 15 miles south of Santa Fe, the capital of New Mexico. And the rancho had thick adobe walls. If you're not familiar with the Southwest, adobe is a type of red clay. This is actually a good idea for building material. It's very insulated, so it keeps things warm in winter and cool in the summer. But yeah, you have the applique treasure box, where it kind of shows pictures of these things. It uses sandpaper, an unfinished wooden box with a lid, foam brushes, acrylic paint, it's telling you red and black, artist's brush, pencil, piece of tracing paper, scissors, 1 or 2 dried corn husks, so that's what you're using to make the decorations, straw, oats, wheats, or any dried grasses, which is interesting, white glue, a small bowl, and optional tweezers. So again, it looks, and I'm guessing there are patterns in the back. Yeah, there are patterns in the back, I think. Does it have, yeah, the applique treasure box, it has the little pattern in the back, so you can see some of the patterns here. So, and it also has shoes. So essentially this is you're making shapes and you're gluing them on a painted box. You have a painted frame, though it does talks about, yeah, Josefina's time, painted frames were used for mirrors and pictures of saints, because I'm trying to think, cameras existed, but they were I think so, but they were the big bulky kind, so they didn't really do that. So this is showing you how to do one with I believe that, yeah, this is a mirror. So it's a painted frame for a mirror. So it has more sandpaper, unfinished wooden picture or craft frame, foam paintbrush, acrylic paints, ruler, pencil, artist paintbrush, a thick hand towel. I don't know if you're blotting things. A picture hanger to hang it, a mirror, which is, it says 4x5, a putty knife or a screwdriver, and 6 glazing points, which I have no idea quite what on earth a glazing point is, but I'm sure it explains. And then it has a lantern, so this is just kind of a little paper lantern, so it's a shoebox. So you have a shoebox, a lantern, and it has you make a little straw broom, which they use for cleaning. And though it does say, I'm not going to pronounce this, New Mexican women and girls also made hair brushes, or I'm not pronouncing that, I don't speak Spanish. You can make one for yourself, use short straw or grasses about 7 inches long. So you can make something similar besides the little broom. Then you have Spanish and Mexican traditions. So that's the next kind of little paragraph section here, where you're making a fringe shawl, where I think they're just having you make the fringe, the glass beaded necklace, decorated hair comb, and then a stamped leather bookmark. So it talks about, so it has you making just the fringe. So it has you getting fabric and scissors and straight pens. So this is going to be a little bit for older kids and just kind of, and then fringe. And you're just kind of showing, you're sewing fringe onto a piece of fabric to make a shawl. You're doing a glass beaded necklace, which is very similar. You're just kind of doing leather and you're making a necklace. And then with the decorated hair comb, they do talk about this. Hair combs from Spain and southern Mexico were prized by New Mexican women for their beauty and usefulness. Women wore their hair combs to hold their hair back and to hold the lace mantillas or veils in place over their head and shoulders. So basically, you just get a large hair comb, you paint it, and you can add beads and shells. And then it has you make, this is just kind of a leather bookmark. So, and it talks a little bit about stamped leather. So you get stamps, you have to hammer them down. So, and they decorate. Then it talks about Indian traditions. So this is, in this case, it would probably be, I think it's, the Pueblos, because those were who they interacted with in books. So it has making a coil pot and then moccasins. So your child can make their first pair of shoes and a clay pot. This is typical clay. You're just doing a coil pot. I'm very familiar with this. I've made these many times throughout my childhood. So though I think these are, you get clay that will dry on its own. So, and then you paint it. And then it has the pattern, but again, you probably have to draw a pattern for your own shoes to fit your own kid's feet. And essentially you're using just kind of soft leather and you're and fabric. This looks like an interesting project. Definitely probably for the older kids. I don't know if my kid has the patience for this. So then it's moving to a stitch in time. Sewing is it's going to be very common in a lot of these books. So you have, the copla placemat, which is a type of embroidery. The fringed sash, more showing fringe, and then a hen pincushion. I think Felicity's had a pincushion as well. So it talks about the I'm butchering this. Kochina or Kolsha. It's a type of embroidery that uses simple stitches and a short single stitch and a longer one held down. So it does, essentially you're just embroidering on you're tracing and then you're putting it on a placemat. So again, this is more for the older kids. It does show some of the different patterns. Before you see this, I'll have reviewed the big book that I have on this type of embroidery. I just haven't done it yet. I'll probably do it today. I just haven't read through it. So then you're doing a fringe sash, which is, again, you're getting fabric and you're sewing on a fringe. So, and then it's talking about making a pincushion, which is kind of just a little pillow. It's a chicken pincushion. I don't know why they don't use a goat, considering all the goats in this book. So, and then you have Frontier Fun, which has corn husk doll and then pawn top and game. So talks about homemaking toys, and this is kind of a corn husk doll. I do believe Kirsten's books has, I think she might have a doll in hers. It's been a while since I've looked at that one, just so you are aware when we do get to Kirsten. Most of her craft and her cookbooks were mine, so they're gonna used, yes, but used by me. So this is definitely interesting. It has doing corn husks. You should be able to get corn husks at craft stores. Again, I'm in the American Southwest, so it's not going to be difficult for me to get corn husks. I do not know if I could convince my daughter to do any of this right now. And then this does a pawn top and game. So it has you make clay. It does say preferably Mexican or red clay. It shouldn't be too, you're looking for something that would be like terracotta, if that's kind of what they're talking about. And so you make the little square thing and you spin it. These spinning tops are extremely common. I believe we were talking about them in Caroline's. She has a spinning top that she talks about in her stories. So I think that's and then it just has the patterns in the back. So this is a cute book. I love the fact that it talks about the history. I wish I had these for all the dolls. It would make my life a heck of a lot easier. The same with the cookbooks. But I improvise when I can. So, again, I love it. Talks about the history. Some of these are for older kids. Some kids may be interesting. These are definitely geared at girls or people who like sewing. But, again, the leather work can be boys as well. Again, it depends. But it's a great way to talk about history and do hands-on crafts and doing hands-on history, which I think is important. My daughter is 6.5. She could probably do some of these, but I don't know if she has the patience for it yet. And I'm not sure I have the patience to teach her yet. We're getting there. She's got ADHD, so it's getting her settled and focused is a challenge right now. So, but again, highly recommend this. Love these books. Wish there were more. I love looking at this area of history. It's a new culture. I'm in Arizona. We're not far from New Mexico. I have actually never been to Santa Fe. I have actually been to Albuquerque. Apparently it's not that great. My husband was in a Scrabble tournament. This was years ago, before I had my daughter, when my husband and I were newly married. I think it was in June. Probably not a good idea. But nonetheless, I would actually like to go back. There's a lot of history there that I would like to see, but once my daughter is older and it's easier to travel with her. So, great book. Highly recommend. There's a lot of interesting crafts. You can probably do most of them. A lot of sewing skills, a lot of fine motor skills. So again, the books are normally geared to 8, 9, 10-year-olds. So that's what these books are designed for. But again, you can do this with smaller children as well. So that is it for this review. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. We will be continuing to work on Josefina. And then next month, we will be moving on to Cecile and Marie Grace, which will have less American Girl pre-made stuff because They just do not have a lot of it. They literally have the book series and mysteries. That's it. I'm having to kind of figure everything else out for them. So, and then after that will be Kirsten and Addie and Samantha. I think I'm out of most of the more difficult ones after I finish Cecile and Marie Grace. So, again, if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. Look at the rest of the channel. I have a lot of videos. And we'll be continuing American Girl history as we move forward. Thank you.